Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So why we use probability distributions or probability models? So still a better way to ask this question will be why we use well-known probability distributions or probability models. Some of the well-known probability distribution or models include, for example, Bernoulli distribution, uh, then we have binomial distribution or binomial random variable. Then we have, for example, a geometric distribution. These are examples of discrete random variables and discrete distributions. Similarly, we may have a continuous distribution. For example, we have exponential distribution. Or Gaussian distribution. So why do we use all of these probability distributions? So the answer is that these probability distributions, these are models, basically probability models. They are probability models of frequently occurring problems, the probability problems that we frequently encounter. So these probability distributions model those probability related problems that we come across frequently. So in other words, we categorize those frequent problems, we categorize probability related problems, and a probability model has been developed for each category of problem. So for example, let's consider toss a coin. So this is a single experiment with two outcomes, head or tail, right? Similarly, let's consider another problem, that a test an integrated circuit. So again, there are two possible outcomes, accept or reject. So another for example problem is to that you answer a question, the answer may be correct or incorrect, right? So these problems, they belong to the same category of probability model, And these kind of problems are modeled by a distribution which is known as Bernoulli distribution. So all these three questions, all these problems are modeled by a probability distribution which is known as Bernoulli distributions. So to further elaborate, let's consider a further detailed example. Let's consider that we transmit 8 bits. We transmit 8 bits of information. Right? Over a communication channel. Over a communication channel. So some of the questions and probabilities that we may be interested in, for example, include: number one, whether a single bit was transmitted successfully, whether a single bit was transmitted successfully. So again, the answer may be that it was successful or it was unsuccessful. So again, this is a kind of problem for which we use Bernoulli distribution. Bernoulli distribution. And then whether the information was transmitted successfully, this may also be treated as a single event with the two outcomes, either successful or unsuccessful. This will again be treated by Bernoulli distribution, right? And then another question may be: what is the probability that 7 out of 8 bits are transmitted successfully? That is, there are 8 trials and 7 of these trials are successful, right? So this kind of question is categorized and is treated by what is known as binomial distribution. Right? So, for example, a similar problem will, if you are testing 10 integrated circuits, and if you want to find out the probability that 8 of these circuits are acceptable, then again this kind of problem will be treated by binomial distribution. So another, for example, question that we may ask related to this problem is: what is the probability that first error occurs, first bit error, right? First error occurs while transmitting the 7th bit, right? So this type of problem is answered by what is known as negative binomial or Pascal distribution. Pascal distribution, right? That the first error, the first error occurs this is by geometric distribution. So Pascal distribution is a generalization of geometric distribution. Of course, it can be solved by Pascal distribution, but it is specifically solved by geometric distribution. This problem can also be solved by Pascal distribution. Pascal distribution is a generalization of geometric distribution. So, for example, a problem related to the Pascal distribution. What is the probability that third error occurs during the transmission of eighth bit? So now that is is treated by Pascal distribution or Pascal distribution or negative binomial distribution. Right? So kth success in n trials is answered by negative binomial or Pascal distribution, and first success in a number of trials is answered by geometric distribution. So geometric distribution is a special case of Pascal distribution. So both these problems relate to the same kind of distribution, but as I told you, geometric distribution is a special case of Pascal distribution. So if you can think of some other event and some probability related problems related to that event, so some of the problems may be similar and will be treated by again the same distribution, right? And even if the problem is not within these distributions, so there are a number of other distributions available where that can be categorized and that probability model can be fit onto that problem, and we can find out the probabilities related to that problem with that particular distribution. So that is why we use these well-known probability models for solving problems related to the probability.